Gentlemen, you look like you're taking a shit in your pants right now.
This is my serious face. I'm being serious.
You look like you're at church. Yeah, right.
Is it better?
Wait, hold on. Shit. I wish I had a hat. You know, give me some money. Anyway, here we are. This will be week 6, just so we're all aware. Of course, I'm sitting here joined by Mr. Kniff over to, which will be my right, your left, and of course Troy or Cuz, whatever you decide to be this week. I am Gregor Guy. Welcome.
Or Gregory.
No. Fucking asshole.
Ruined it.
Making more work for me. Anyway, let's just jump right on into what we're going to get into this week. We're going to talk about the cryptocurrencies. Now, obviously, I have money invested into cryptos. I believe you also have money invested into cryptos. Do you have any holdings?
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And just so we're all clear, this is in no way, shape, or form financial advice. Do your own research and, formulate your own opinions. Think for yourself. Correct. All right. So, just want to general base of knowledge. So you're aware. I got into crypto back in about beginning of July, I want to say. I think you were roundabouts the same time. And I got a decent amount of investments. I've been profiting.
Took a slight loss.
There were some things that happened along the way, obviously.
But you're in it for the long term.
I'm in it for the long haul. I guess I'm what you would call a hodler. So I believe in it long term. Obviously, along the way, it's never a terrible idea to take profits if you feel like you need to take profits, if you think the market's going to correct. So, like I said, not financial advice. Not at all. But we do want to get into that. September 7th, 2021 was deemed BitCoin Day. And the reason for that is because El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender in their country. Which, first of all, just proves global adoption and the fact that other countries are probably going to follow suit, I assume, relatively quickly. Obviously, Ukraine has been brought up. I believe Panama has been brought up that, they're looking into this. So it very well could happen. But let's just go into the events of September the 7th to begin with. Now, obviously, a lot of people are calling it a flash crash. I don't know if it was, to an extent, I guess I could see how it would be deemed that. But, I believe that there was a market correction needed anyway. Whether or not the events that actually transpired catalyzed this correction, who knows? That's up for discussion, which we're going to get into. So if you're unaware, apparently what happened was $2.6 billion worth of Bitcoin got sold off relatively early in the day. Over the course of about 5 minutes or the numbers I'm hearing, which raises the question, why? Why would this happen on a day where Bitcoin becomes legal tender? I have some opinions on it, but I want to throw it to you two first. So, let's go ahead and start. No, let's start with you, Cuz.
Why do I think?
Yes, your own opinion.
I think they're trying to do away with the whole USD in general and make a global market.
Yeah, you're talking about more like just El Salvador and these countries that adopt cryptos as their general or actually legal tender.
Legal
I assume.
tender, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I could definitely see that. Do you have any opinions on that?
I think it's been legal tender for a long time. Maybe not specifically because a government says so. Just because a government says so, it's held value for a very long time. So if it holds value and somebody else wants it, it's tender of any kind. It's something that's traded.
Yeah, that's actually an amazing point because I guess I mean, to an extent, I did see it as that, but
I mean, if you want to say
referring to it as actual legal tender, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, think about this. If you go into a store in El Salvador nowadays, after the 7th, I assume that they have, whatever type of monetary price on a price tag, and that underneath they have a Bitcoin price. That's kind of what I assume. Obviously, we are not there. We don't know for sure.
Now, is this in every store in El Salvador?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
Like I said, I agree. I kind of doubt it too, but as soon as the mass adoption happens, and let's be honest, it's probably going to happen at some point in time, whether it takes, a couple years or, a couple months, who knows? Who can answer that question?
I think it's
Anyone in El Salvador out there who has experience with this, feel free to comment down below and let us know, educate us. We welcome that. Okay, back to the flash crash. My opinion is that was a way for, institutional investors to attempt to manipulate the market. Now, this could be a controversial opinion, but the evidence that I have, researched and everything shows that, for one, the fact that a account of Bitcoin worth $43 million, basically, it didn't necessarily start this, but it was the biggest dump from a single wallet, and that happened on the Huobi exchange. Not one I'm familiar with, not one I use. But my question to you would be this. Do you think that the institutional players are scared of making cryptocurrencies legal tender in countries because they cannot control it?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no doubt that every country wants to control any form of currency or any taxable monetization that they can, and without taxation, they can't control.
Well, think about the banknote in and of itself. It used to be backed up by gold.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, it turned into a debt-based currency, and that debt-based currency was built on trust for the banking system.
Well, that goes more or less into like inflation, deflation. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So just keep that.
But that's probably feeding into what you're asking.
Right. I mean, I totally agree with. I mean, how do you tax Bitcoin?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they probably figured something out. I would have to assume. I don't even know if they have like sales tax in El Salvador, quite honestly, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, guess what? Then
If,
you don't
if
even have to worry
if
about
it's
tax.
not there yet, it will be. If it's not there yet, there will be, and that's how governments make their money, and that's how they keep control of it.
Right, but what I'm saying is if there was a sales tax in El Salvador, it would have been based at that point in time on the U.S. dollar.
Right.
So it would have been a percentage of the U.S. dollar that they were, paying for.
But what is the percentage is the question.
Who knows? Who knows? And what if, making Bitcoin legal tender, maybe the sales tax percentage is even lower just based on the crypto.
Or the country itself can base its own percentage.
Who knows? Who knows?
It's
Either way, anyway, Bitcoin fell on September 7th from 52,000 to, I believe, around 42, 43, somewhere in there before it stabilized around 45 throughout the course of the day. But either way, this was kicked off by that $2.6 billion outflow from Bitcoin literally in about 5 minutes. So that happened. I believe, like I said, that to be market manipulation. And that also poses the question as to, okay, let's say you just sold $2.6 billion of Bitcoin at, let's say 52,000. What's to keep you from moving that to a different account and then just putting it back in? So, how do you stop this from happening in the future? I don't know. I don't know. That's a question for someone that is way smarter than I am. Especially since Bitcoin is a global, dominating force at this point in time in the monetary
We're not economists, so
yes, we are not. Like I said, but I mean, it is a discussion that I think needs to be had because, quite frankly, I think we're at the time of this recording right around 46K for the price of a Bitcoin. So even if you sold at 52 and just bought all that shit back right now, you're making a shit ton of money. So, I mean, that's just something to think about. Anyone want to discuss this? Drop down in the comments and we will open a discussion. We will flush this out because it's something that I am, absolutely intrigued by. Okay, now, expanding on that a little bit, I believe that it was a bit of market manipulation because the institutions, i.e. governments and big corporations, anyone with ties to government and whatnot, they are scared. Yes, I said it, scared of cryptocurrency.
because they have no control over it.
They have no control over it, and that is why I think this happened. Let me go to you, Ken. What do you think? Do you have an opinion on that? Do you believe that is true?
I think that everybody in power is just trying to have control and gain more control over the things of everything in general. It's not just cryptocurrency, but
you're saying that greed controls people with power. Not all people with
greed
power.
is what drives human nature.
Not all people are greedy, though.
Everybody wants more than what they have.
Well, that's more or less basic human instinct.
Yeah, but there are people that give back too. So you can't categorize everybody in power with greed.
But at the same time, when I'm not going to say everybody, I'm going to say 90% of the people that give back and give other people things, it gives them pleasure. It gives them a sense of self-gratification. So they're not just giving stuff away for free. They're still gaining something from that. It's very noble. It is still very noble, and it is a very good feeling.
Selfish.
But I'm not going to say it's selfish.
But they're not making a monetary or asset gain.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
internally they
just
feel
feeling
good
better.
No, nobody does.
Yeah.
Which is admirable.
That's not bad.
Yeah, nobody does anything for no reason whatsoever.
That's true.
But we're talking about control and domination and trying to exert force upon another object that you want to control. So any government, any powerful person is only powerful because they wanted to be powerful. So they're going to want more. They always want more. There's never a limit. There's never an end to what they want or what they can get.